Good morning and welcome to Backyard and Beyond. Well, what's happening in your backyard today? Got lots of plans. May have to change those if you were doing lots of stuff outside and you don't like to get a little bit wet. But some good weather coming up. Again, you've heard me say, if you're a listener, that September is one of my favorite months because there's always some great weather, great things to do in September. I was thinking back, actually, yes, yesterday, someone asked, well, what could we do today? Now, they weren't talking about work. They were talking about like a little mini vacation or where they could, there were some visitors to the county. What should we show these visitors? Where can we take them? And that just reminded me about, when the gas was at the highest price, there was lots of talk about staycations, doing things close to home and thinking that, yeah, we can plan great vacations to Disneyland and the Grand Canyon, and those are great things to see and do. But a lot of us haven't seen everything there is to see close to home. Sometimes we don't even know about some of those things. So I just wanted to mention some ways that you can find that out. Of course, if you have a computer, that's pretty easy. You can just, Google in Iowa tours. You can Google in Southwest Iowa, Iowa tourism, just lots of ways that you could get to information in various places. Because many of the places to see, things to do have websites of their own. But of course, there are those more general websites that give you information about the area. But another way to do that, if you like the hands-on thing instead of the computer, or in addition to the computer to take with you when you're out on the road, there are so many different kinds of brochures that you could pick up, and many of those are available, of course, at any of the tour sites. Usually most chambers of commerce have them. I know that the Atlantic Chamber has just a whole rack full of brochures you can pick up from all over the area. And those are good sources to have on hand. And some of them are just kind of fun to look at. They have great pictures as well as great information. I thought I'd mention just a few of those. If you are a wine and beer fan, there is this year a new Iowa guide to wine and beer that shows where the various wineries in Iowa are located. And you can also get that information online at iowawineandbeer.com. But you can pick one of these up. It's a really nice brochure that gives the location and tells a little bit about each of the sites where there are wineries, and you most times get free tasting. And some of them are, just kind of plain wineries. Others have great facilities with them, so you can get acquainted with the wineries around the country. If that's not your thing, don't worry. There's lots of other things to see and do. Griswold has put together their own little brochure, really pretty little brochure, and it mostly tells you about I'm going to say motor museums. Most of them are tractor, but there's also some car museums located either right in Griswold, around Griswold, or there's one at Elliott and one at Lyman. And there's the Rush Antique Farm Display, the Rush Ford Collection, Alice Chalmers Museum, and the Deer Museum, as well as Eshelman's Minneapolis Moline Museum. So if you're into tractors or you know somebody that's into tractors, hey, here's the brochure. And I have some cousins coming to visit this next weekend. And let me tell you, they're going to get one of these brochures in the mail, hopefully in the next few days, because I know there's a couple of real tractor fans among those folks, and they will be excited to see those. Then some folks in the Griswold area have also put together a little brochure that's called Great Southwestern Iowa Day Trips. You don't need a whole 3, 4, 5 days, one day. And again, they've mentioned all of the tractor and car museums. In addition, the Cass County Historical Museum in Griswold, which is great. If you've not been there, it's they've done so much work on that, and they're include the whole county because it is the county museum, and they just keep adding stories, and now they have the Atlantic Book and so on. Also, the trail dolls and treasures, and there's a story behind all of those dolls that have local interest. In these day tours, they've also included the Hitchcock House, of course, and if you've not been there, Again, various, if you get a tour guide, and the stories there just go on and on. And in this brochure, they've also included the Danish Inn, the Danish Windmill, the Immigrant Museum, and so some things you can just do right in the area. Also, another brochure that I think is really great, and it goes beyond Cass County, even Shelby County, our counties right around us, is called the Western Iowa Guide, and it says how to have fun in Western Iowa. And of course, it features all the things in 1/3 of the state, the western third. Much of it's around the Luss Hills that goes, clears south to past our border, up past Sioux City. So you can get into the Luss Hills all along that way. And again, remember, that is an area, there's only one other place in the world that has that same kind of geography in terms of the land, where the silt was blown in, and that is in China. You don't need to go to China. You can just go to southern Iowa, or all along the western, almost the whole western side of Iowa. This little brochure also, it just gives little pick kinds of things. It's not in much detail, but has many of the events also listed. And one of the things that just pops out at me, again, if you've not been to the Museum of Religious Arts over by Logan, that's a surprise for you. It is a wonderful religious display of all kinds of things. And another thing that pops out, because they have the cutest picture, pictures draw your eye. This little kid in a helmet and sunglasses, and it talks about traveling through Audubon County, and just lists a few of the things that you can do in Audubon County. Again, it covers the whole western part of Iowa. And then getting more specific, a new brochure that's been put together. It's called Group Tour Guide of Council Bluffs and Pottawatomie County. But you don't have to have a big group to use this as a guide. And it's, I think, well put together in terms of it has a page on farm country, and it does include the Griswold area, as well as the Farm All Land USA near Avoca, the Karstens Farmstead, and Breezy Hills Vineyard and Winery. Remember, they're looking at this just as Council Bluffs and Pottawatomie County. And then they have a taste of history. It includes the several wineries. It also includes the Hitchcock Nature Center in Honey Creek, a beautiful place to visit. If you've not been there, this is one of the things to put on your list as a place to visit. It is a park of 1,000 acres of the Luss Hills and Native Prairie, with wonderful overviews of the area and places you can walk. Just a wonderful place to visit. There's also the Western Historic Trail Center, the Lewis and Clark Monument, the Canesville Tabernacle, Historic General Dodge House. You can spend a while there learning about railroad history. And, of course, when you talk about railroad history, there's also the Pacific Railroad history and the Golden Spike Monument. It just goes on and on. Things you maybe, as I say, have not even thought about or have visited. The Durham Western Heritage Museum, another one to visit. And I know that there are other brochures telling you about these things, but I thought this was a really nice one. Group Tour Guide, Council Bluffs and Pottawatomie County. And then one of the newest ones I want to quickly mention is Adams County. They have put together a book practically to tell you about all the things in Adams County. A lot of their resources, like their school and their daycare and those sorts of things, but also including many of the places you can visit. The French Icarian Village is one of the newer ones in that area. And then if you'd like us to remind about a smile, you want to visit the Johnny Carson birthplace. Again, the Adams County, and you can go to their website, adamscountyoiowa.com, and you can also ask for one of those booklets that will tell you more than you ever thought about Adams County. So, have a great time having a staycation, a day-long visit, something to entertain your guests with by looking around Southwest Iowa. And until next time, here's a thought. Champions don't become champions on the field or in the ring. They're merely recognized there.